All right, same thing as yesterday. With lesson 21 and 20, they're very similar, except for today we're using area model with remainders. So same thing as yesterday. We're going to do our quick practice with our missing multiplier. So label it 1 through 5 on the side. Don't have to write these. All you have to do is solve them. Give me a thumbs up. Got to let me check first. You have to do this quick practice because this has to do with what we've been doing for our division, and will keep helping you the more you understand these missing multipliers. All right, so here's our work it together. A rectangle has an area of 36 units. So I'm going to start off. We know it's an area, so we know it's in the middle. And a width of 2 units. What is the unknown length? So we're looking for this. Well, I can break this up. I'm going to do this way and with number bond. I know that I could break this up into a 20 and a 16. It still gives me 36. It still gives me that, but I know easily what 2 times 20 equals, or 2 times something equals 20. So let me go ahead and put my handy dandy unknowns up here. I know I'm going to solve it for the total. Well, I know 2 times something gives me 20. Oh yeah, it's 10. So 10 can go up here. I know 2 times something gives me 16. Well, if I don't know that one off the top of my head, I can count by 2s until I get to 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Alright, so it's 8. Those 8s cannot work for me. 8, 10 plus 8, 18. So if I were to rewrite this problem, I would say 36 divided by 2 equals 18. Now I said I was going to number bond it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Shrink that. So, need a circle. And extend my page too. So, what is going on here? So, like always, I'm going to put my big number up top, starting with this, 36. Well, I know I can break it down into 20 and 16, mainly because I already did it. But there's other ways you could break it down too. You don't have to break it into 2. You can break it into 3 or 4 parts. It's up to you. Well, then I'm going to write something divided by 2 equals something. Something divided by something equals something. Well, if I know I'm dividing by 2, these also need to be divided by 2. I'm going to put my 20 here, from here. I'm going to put my 16 from here. Now it's just solving it. 20 divided by 2. Yep, that's 10. 16 divided by 2. That's 8. And then I'm going to combine those 2 answers into 18. So 2 different methods. I just used number bond and area method to solve. This did not have any remainders yet, but you know we're getting to it since that's part of our I can statement. So you always ask me, is this part of our problem set? Is this on our journal? Is this on our journal? Remember how I said it'll say problem set question at the top? Well, it says problem set question at the top. Where can you go to look for this? Your problem set. Yes, you guys are so smart. All right. So, solve 37 divided by 2 using an area model. All right, so I know it says area model, so I need a rectangle. Done. Use long division and distributive property to record your work. Well, distributive property is my fault for not telling you. It is the number bond. And we're also going to be doing the long division. Remember, I've already said you don't have to know long division. It's cool if you know the wrap. I know I'm starting off with 37. And I know I'm starting off with 37 in the middle. Divided by 2. Cool. Alright, now we can keep going. I got it all set up. I'm ready to solve and ready to record. Well, first thing I got to do is I got to break up this 37 into numbers I know. Well, a number I know for 20, or 2, would be 20. And that would leave me with 17 here. But the problem is with 17, I know that's not divisible by 2. Because 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, I never said 17. So I'm going to pull over a leftover 1. It's an odd number, so that helps that I know it's not divisible by 2. Odd numbers cannot be divisible by 2. And I know I got a 16 right here. Well, when I set this up, I know 20 divided by 2 gives me something. 16 divided by 2 gives me something. And this blue dot right here, this little 1, well, it's already in its own little remainder jail. So I know I'm at least going to have a remainder of 1. So whatever my answer is, I know I got a remainder of 1. Well, let's solve it out. 20 divided by 2. If I can count my 2s to 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Oh, it's 10. Same thing. 16 divided by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's 8. So I'm going to combine those two answers to right there to give me 18. So there's one way to get my answer with area model. Area. Not to be mixed up with the Little Mermaid Ariel. It's area. Alright, long division. Whew. Alright, I think we're going to do this one in green. Well, divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Alright, so first thing I got to do is divide. So I have to say 2 until I get as close to 3 as possible, but I cannot go over. 2, 4. Well, 4 is too high, so I'm going to go back down to 2, which gives me a 1. Because I'm holding a 1. I know you guys can't see it because my camera's not on. And then I know that's dividing. Multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. And subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring it on down. And bring it on back. So I'm going to be dividing by 2 again. So I'm going to count by 2 to get as close to 17 as possible without going over. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, if I said the next one, it'd be too high, so it was 16. So I'm holding up the number 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So that was, I did the divide. I did the multiply. I'm doing the subtract. There is nothing to bring down, so I am done. I cannot bring it back. So here it is, my quotient, which is my answer, with my remainder. Remember, remainders are at the bottom. And remainders can, I'm going to put this in your notes. You have to write this. That's okay if you write it in your math journal. Remainders cannot be bigger than the divisor or the dividend. So essentially, this couldn't be higher than 37. No. And this could not be higher than 2. You did something wrong if that's the case. Last one is the number bonds, which is the distributive property that we just talked about. So I know I broke it up. So let's draw my first circle. If I'm breaking it up by 2, I know I can put a 20 here because I know that 2 times 10 equals 20. I'm going to choose to do it in purple so I have different colors. Well, if I do that, I'm going to have to handwrite this one. I'd have to put 17 here because 20 plus 17 gives me 37. But wait, I can't do that because I know I can't bring it down. But I'm going to leave it alone as if we did not know. Maybe it's a 3. Maybe we don't know our factors of 3 yet. So we're going to be working with our 20, and then we'll go with our 17. I'm going to erase this really fast, clean up my board. All right. So remember I'm dividing by 2. So I'm going to keep my 20 and my divided by 2, and it equals something. Same thing here. I'm going to have my 17 divided by 2, because I'm still keeping it, equals something. Answer in red. 20 divided by 2, so I would just count by 2s until I get to 20. But I've done it so many times, I know it's 10. 17 divided by 2. So I'm going to count and get as close to 17 as possible. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's 8. But remember, I said 16. I could not get all the way to 17, so I'm going to subtract. And that 1 right there is going to be my remainder. And then I'm going to add 8 plus 10, which gives me 18. All 3 of my numbers, 18 remainder 1, 18 remainder 1, 18 remainder 1, all of them work out. Yes, all this needs to be in your area. If I can do it, you can do it. You may have to shrink it a little, and that's okay. But that's problem number 1 in your math journal. I'm going to set you up for problem 2, but I am not going to solve it for you. You are going to solve it. I set up, you solve. It'll be glorious. All right. First things first, I'ma draw everything that I'ma need. Alright, so I'm going to write a 76 right here. But remember, if we're using area model, you're going to be breaking that up. So you don't have to draw 76 yet. You are going to need to snip it. Next thing, long division. I'll do it in black. 76 divided by 3. And then our distributive property, or my number bond. There we go. Make sure everything falls into place here. Okay. So, again, I'm going to help set up. I am not going to solve. So if I broke up 76, I could break it up in a variety of different ways. Well, what is a big number that I know goes with 10? If I know 20 went with 2, what goes with 3? Let me try that again. If I know 20 went with 2, what goes with 3? Well, 30. That's easy. So I can put a 30 right here. And if I know I put a 30 here, I can go ahead and cheat and put a 30 right here. It's no big deal. Well, that left me with 46. Hey, I can pull another 30 out of that. And then I'll be left with 16, which can go right here. So, remember I told you don't have to break it up into 2. You can break it up into multiple. I'm choosing this time to break it up into 3, which means I am going to need a new circle. It's okay if they touch a little bit, because we can see that they're going to be taking up some room with my 3. And I had 16 left. So you need to go ahead and start. I know 30 divided by 3 equals, let's make that look like a 3. Still doesn't look like a 3. And that's going to not happen once, but twice, because there's 2 30s on the board. And then I'm going to have a 16 divided by 3 equals. So you're going to fill these in, and you're going to add them up. Now remember, you will have a remainder because that was part of our I can statement today. Alright? Divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. So divide, which means I'm going to count by 3 until I can get as close to 7 as possible without going over. 3, 6. Well, I'm holding up 2. If I said any more, it would go past. That was divide. Here's the multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Bring it on down. and bring it on back, which means you're going to divide again because this number cannot be bigger than this number. So this 16 is not a remainder. It can't be because it's bigger than 3. It's not possible, guys. Alright, and last one. I forgot to write my 76 right here. Hopefully all of you caught that. If not, that's okay. Miss Kohler didn't. So it's the same thing. I'm going to write 30 divided by 3 equals, and I'm getting my divided by 3 by right here. 30 divided by 3 equals. And I'm going to put my thing on the bottom. And then 16 divided by 3 equals. And I'm going to add these up. Well, guys, that's it. All the setup is right here. You just got to solve and continue working on your problem set problems for today. Keep up the good work, guys.